Hello everyone, Nivedita is here by taking a new video on the topic vegetative propagation. This is a topic from science class 10th and the chapter is 8. Okay, means it's you can say it's a part of asexual reproduction. It is equivalent to the asexual reproduction. But one thing very important to keep in mind is vegetative propagation occurs in plants only. So we will begin with this so that there could not be any confusion. So we are just studying about the plants only. So begin with what is vegetative propagation. So when we say vegetative propagation, it refers to the development of new plants from the vegetative parts. Okay, like roots, shoots and the leaves. See, in the plant, flower is a reproductive part and apart from the flower, other parts are vegetative parts. So if we can grow plants from by using vegetative parts, then it is called as vegetative propagation. Okay, so it is the method of propagation especially in those plants which have lost their capacity to produce seeds or producing non-viable seeds like banana, grapes, rose, pineapple, etc. Okay, so these are the plants where we can prefer the vegetative propagation. So there are common methods of vegetative propagation. So we will study this topic in under two headings. First, we will study the natural methods. So natural methods, you know very well. Some plants means we can have the example of guava, amrud. Okay, guava is amrud. So in the guava, what happens? In its roots there are buds. Okay, buds are present on the roots. So by this we can grow leafy shoots, means using that part of root we can grow the plant. Okay, and some plants like bryophyllum, uh, they develop in such plants, they develop adventitious roots, okay, in their leaves, and further this develops into the new plants. Okay, in the next slide you can see the pictures of bryophyllum and can get how the plants can be new plants can be propagated from the leaves of the bryophyllum. And we have more example like stem or tuber. Potato is a tuber, means it's underground stem and it bears the buds. So this by putting the potato into the soil we can grow new plants. Okay, so potato is a tuber as well as it is an underground stem. So see, this is the picture. This is a leaf of bryophyllum and you can see in its margin there are small plantlets, and further they can be detached from there and can be put into the soil, and we can have the new plant. So many plants we can have from a single leaf. So this is a leaf of bryophyllum. Okay, this is a potato tuber and you can see here as the potato bears buds, so we can have the plants from the single potato as well. We don't require any seeds over here. There are artificial methods also. Artificial, when we say, it means these are the these methods are developed by the man and especially by horticulturists or the plant breeders or growers. They use it for commercial production of the plant. So we have some common methods, artificial methods like cutting, layering and grafting. We can have this one, the first one method as cutting, means may you have seen in plants like roses. Very common example is rose. If we have the stem cuttings and we will put the stem cutting into the soil, then we will have a rose plant. Okay, so by stem cuttings we can grow the plants. If we have so many from a single plant, if we have small stem cuttings, more cuttings, we if we will put all those cuttings into the soils, and that many of plants we will have. So this is the cutting. So this is very common, most common type of method, and not only in the rose, sugarcane also can be grown, grapes also can be grown by this cutting method. But one important thing is there, that the stem pieces, it should be planted in the wet soil, means there should be the moisture, there should be the water in the soil. This you can see here, you can see the cuttings, stem cuttings are there, put into the soil. So these all will develop into the complete plant. This is the layering. Layering, the most common you can see in the jasmine, the plants or shrubs. So what happens in the jasmine, if any of the branch, if we will just put into the branch, we will just put into the soil, we will press its one of its parts into the soil, then it will means before detaching from the main plant body. So this you can see in the diagram as well. So there will develop the roots, the part which we have pressed into the soil. Okay, this is one of the branch that is pulled down and pressed into the soil. This is in the easy word we can say. So we can have the new plant. Grafting, this is also a method and very easily it can be done, and in this method two plants are joined. Okay, two plants are joined, and they are joined in such a way later on they grow as one plant. Okay, so this grafting is done between the two closely related dicot plants. Dicot I am saying because there should be the cambium, that is vascular bundle, should be connected. Okay, so the rooted plant which on which we are going to do the grafting, that is called as stalk, and the portion of other plant that is grafted on the stalk, that is called as the scion. Okay, so stalk means the part which is having the root system, and this is scion is a shoot system only, and it means that is a part of a stem. Okay, so the scion is placed on the stalk, and they are tied, and the joint is covered with the clay or the wax. It is done to prevent the entry of germs and to prevent the process of evaporation. Okay, and this is very important that all the birds, all the leaves present on the stalk, they must be removed from there. Okay, this is very important when the grafting is done. You can see here how to closely related plants, they are grafted one over the other. Okay, so this is grafting. One more method, that is tissue culture. Okay, tissue culture is also a method by which we can grow so many plants from a single plant only. Okay, in this method we use the tissues or some organs of the plant, and we need to culture them in the means laboratory we can do, or means in a area we can do. So inside the laboratory also this can be done. So in this method, a tissue or the cells that is cultured on the sterilized medium, and this medium contains nutrients and some hormones as well. And what happens as a result, when this cells or the tissue grows, it forms the mass of cells, and this mass of cells is called as callus. So if question is what is callus, so it is the mass of cells which is formed during the tissue culture. Okay, so later on what is done, this callus is transferred to another medium which contains some specific hormones, and so that a small plantlet can be developed, and later on this plantlet is transferred to the soil. So this way plant tissue culture is done, and this is also called as the micropropagation. Okay, micropropagation means tissue culture. Now, what are the advantages of vegetative propagation? So very important thing is there, this method is very cheaper, easier and more rapid, because seeds, if we grow the seed, it takes time to germinate, but this method is by this method we can develop plants in a very short time. Okay, so it is easy and cheap. Second, better quality of the plants, it can be maintained. If we have a better plant, then we can grow so many better plants from that. Okay, and this method is also useful for those plants which do not produce viable seeds or not producing seeds. Okay, or producing the seeds having the longer period of dormancy. Dormancy means seed, that is the sleeping period of the seed. Okay, so this method is very helpful in such plants. And already I told you that plants growing by this method require less time to grow, and this is similar to the parent plant. Okay, there are some disadvantages as well. The most important of them is there produces no variation. Okay, because when two plants are involved, then there is a characteristics from the two plants, but in this there is a single plant we are using, so there is no variations produced, and we cannot have any recombinants, and this continuous practice of this method may lead to the loss of vigor, that is the quality. Okay,